What makes an animal domesticated, like cattle and livestock, exactly? Domesticated animals depend on an external system for their own survival and safety. The behavior of domesticated animals is influenced and controlled through routine and structured actions. This is usually accomplished when the cattle or livestock are younger. Are you seeing any correlation yet? Hang on. Domesticated animals have limited authority within structured boundaries. They can act as they like, do as they please, as long as they stay within the system that they didn't create. The masters or the owners of said cattle and livestock use selective reinforcement. Good behaviors are rewarded with comfort and safety. Bad behaviors are discouraged and punished. Cattle and livestock follow predictable routines. Feeding times, movement cycles, sleep cycles. It makes them easier to manage and maintain, which is good for profit. Now get yourself a pen and paper, go back to the beginning and write down that full list and everything I just described. Maybe make little boxes that you can check off as you do it. And then I want you to seriously ask yourself, are we, cattle, livestock, being farmed for energy? During World War I and the wars leading up to the Great War, the generals and the other people of authority, they had a problem. Over 75% of the soldiers that they wouldn't pull the trigger. They would either aim above the enemy's head or they just couldn't bring themselves to pull the trigger. Over 75%. How are we going to run a military like that? This ain't going to work. But they found the solution. Get them while they're young. We adopted the Prussian education system. They found that they can drop that number. Only 30% won't pull the trigger if they get them while they're young. Separate them from their parents and domesticate. Do as you're told. Be a good book. Get back in your pen. It's not lunchtime yet. Recess is in an hour. So sit there and shut up. Yes, sir. Congratulations on graduating and getting an education. Now, this is your new job. You're going to show up at the same time every day. You'll take lunch at the same time, and you can get to go home at the same time if you get all your work done. The better you listen and the more you follow the rule, you might just move up the ladder. You be a good boy long enough, you might be running this whole farm soon. There's a reason the top working dog has the most freedom, because they've earned the most trust, because they're the best rule follower. And that should be rewarded. But what happens when cattle realizes that they're cattle and they don't want to be cattle anymore? Well, the masters, the owners, the systems, they'll stop at nothing to make sure that doesn't happen. Profits. We got quarterly reports coming up and we got to make our nut. If you give the livestock too much freedom, they'll start making up their own rules and stop following ours. We got to get them back in the pen. Get back in the pen or we're going to call you phobic. No, I'm not phobic. I'll go in the pen. Good boy. Master knows best. All right, put out a little bit of extra food. I'm going to be gone for a couple days. I'm going to go to Jeff's Island. I got some philanthropy I want to do. Get back in your pen. Day 12,781. 3 days before the 35th rotation around the star in the sky. I have yet to find a way to convince the others that they are cattle, livestock being farmed for energy. I'm still trying. I won't give up on my mission. Most are so conditioned, so programmed, they think I'm crazy. But I will find a way. Hope is not lost.